Okay, so for a very short and quick repair video. So I did something stupid. I was planning on reapplying thermal paste to this processor, and while trying to remove it, it was so stuck onto the heatsink that first of all it got forced out of the motherboard without releasing the lever. Here's a little friend who wants to say hello. Okay, I need to get down for a bit. Yeah, she likes to help. Anyway, what ended up happening is the processor dropped. And I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's got quite a few bent pins, especially up through here. If you can see right through here. And the reason I have this card is because I found that one of the best ways to realign pins, I don't know if anyone else has tried this, but especially like here, is to simply take a card and to put them in between the pins. And as long as it's not too bent out of shape, like here it is a bit bent out of shape, so what I'm going to have to do is I can't put it in from the top. I need to go in from the side like here and then just push through slowly and gently because these pins are very delicate, right? And let's see, there we go. It can be a bit tricky to do it on camera. Okay, so I've adjusted the viewing angle so I can get a little bit of a better view. Still, it's a bit tricky with the camera. But, you know, as I had mentioned, and man, some of these pins are really bad. It's just dropping it, so I hope there's no other damage. So we're gonna go through there. And these are really quite bad. So we're gonna go here one by one. Make sure they're all aligned. The advantage also of using the card, I don't know if you can see it there, maybe I'll twist it a bit so you can see it, is it allows you to a little bit more clearly see the pins so you can pick out if there are any that are still crooked. And so far we are looking okay. This is really, I really hate this because the pins tend to be very delicate. So even here, okay, this is one of those. So even here, there we go. Even here, let's try to get this back. There's always a risk that, you know, when you bend metal back and forth, that you will break a pin. And once you break a pin, it's not impossible to repair. I've never done a pin repair because I haven't so far had a broken pin. But that is a far more difficult repair. And hopefully by dropping this processor we haven't done any other damage. So at least in this direction we seem to be okay. And then we'll have to do the let's do this. And I tell you, it's a little bit hard to focus this close. Almost the entire row needs a little push. And then there's one pin here that needs to be pushed back. Okay, and then we'll do the other side, the other direction. Yeah, this is a... So we'll do this side. And then we got one pin here that we need to go very carefully in. I can't believe, man. I guess that's always the argument of whether the pins go on the motherboard or on the processor. You know, which one makes more sense. Because if you drop a motherboard, you won't damage the pins. But of course, when the pins are on the motherboard is shot if you drop it. Man, these pins are so fragile. Okay, so we will continue. If you haven't figured it out already, let me see. Well, okay, see, I'm not even in camera, so if you haven't figured it out already, this is going to be quite a boring video. I'm just going through the process. Take any old card, and I don't know, because newer processors might have closer pinouts. I haven't quite checked on that, so there we go. Or from it being yanked out of the motherboard, because I did not expect it to come out all as one piece. I guess the thermal paste was a bit tight. And we'll just get, this needs a little bit of a... Okay. And then you'll want to do a visual inspection, see if there's any, like here I see one pin that might need a little orienting. And like I said, as you can, try to use the card rather than any other object. Because you want to be as gentle as possible with that. And I'm looking at this, and well, it looks okay now, right? You just have to yeah, I mean, everything looks aligned. So hopefully that works. I'll put a little update. If it's not in the video, I'll put it in the comments. So yeah, I mean, that is not something very difficult to do. You do have to be very gentle, and you have to be very careful, because the pins are very sensitive. There is a chance that you will break a pin, and if you break a pin, then you go in for a much more delicate repair. And I don't believe I have the tools for even that. And seeing as this is my main processor, I do not want to lose this. Otherwise I kind of lose my whole editing machine. And the reason I took it out was because I wanted to reapply some thermal paste, because my processor has been overheating under high load, and I wanted to see if that would fix it, especially now that the summer is coming. Okay, so I'll shut it off now and we'll update. either in the comments or in a bit in the video. So good news, looks like it works, looks like it worked right away. It was a bit of a tight fit, but otherwise, yeah, no, looks like no problems. I'll test it, make sure everything's running okay. We'll make sure the temperatures are okay. Otherwise, yeah, I picked it up right away. Like I said, it didn't fit perfectly. It had to have to be a light push, but of course you have to remember, don't push too hard on these, because you don't want to end up with another bent pin because you push the pins in while pushing it in. So yeah, that worked, and I hope that's a tip that'll help you out. Like I said, try to use the plastics as much as possible. If you have a smaller plastic tool to bend the tips back in, use that. And the cards are really good, especially if you have a good and nice thin card. They're good for aligning the pins, making sure that all the pins are, the way they should be. So, yeah, I hope that helps somebody out. I don't know if that's the go-to method, but at least that works at home. And saves me a processor. Otherwise I wouldn't have had a PC. I would have probably had to... I don't know what I would have done, because it's not like I can really afford a new processor at this time, so probably would have had to go with a downgrade. Thanks to that, PC's back up and running. So I hope that helps you out. If it did, hit that like button. If it didn't, well, you watched this far, so why not hit like anyway? Otherwise, no matter where you guys are in the world, do have a good day, good morning, good night. Bye-bye.